Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. Liverpool are taking on Southampton in the second leg of their EFL Cup Semi-Final on Wednesday night, looking to overturn a 1-0 deficit and see themselves through to the EFL Cup Final. So the big news going into this game is of course the injury to Southampton's key man and best central defender Virgil van Dijk, who limped off against Leicester on Sunday, and their manager Claude Poole has now come out and said that he will probably be a doubt for the game against Liverpool. This is a massive boost to Liverpool of course, because even if he does play against us, he probably won't play the full game, and again, even if he does, he probably won't be at full fitness and match sharpness. And this is important because he had such a good game against us in the first leg and just walked all over Daniel Sturridge. And it wasn't even that he was physically better than him or was imposing himself over Daniel Sturridge. He just was clearly a better player and was having a better night, and he completely neutralised the attacking threat from Liverpool. So to have him missing, and also Southampton's other first choice central defender Jose Font, who's now gone to West Ham, also not playing, could be a huge boost for Liverpool as they look to overturn that 1-goal deficit. And then of course you've got the probable return of Joel Matip, who got a tiny run out against Swansea, albeit playing up front given the circumstances, and then also played an hour in the under-23s game on Sunday. So I think it's highly likely that he will play this game and probably start, which is obviously a massive boost for Liverpool because they have had some defensive problems as of late. And while I do rate Lovren and Klavan as a defensive partnership, I don't really see them as the long-term partnership for Liverpool, whereas with Joel Matip, I do hope that he stays at Liverpool and improves for many years to come. So he'll probably come back in. I think it's Klavan who will make way for him because Matip and Lovren have been partnered together for the vast proportion of this season before he did get injured. So I don't see any reason why they'd stray away from that really. So Matip and Lovren in defence. Hopefully Liverpool will be a bit less leaky than they were in the first leg. And finally, recent reports are suggesting that Daniel Sturridge will replace Emre Can in the lineup that played against Swansea. Obviously, this means that Lallana will probably come into the midfield three, which is good news because any of you who watched my post-match video for the Swansea defeat will know that I think there are many problems with Lallana playing in the front three, including the fact that he doesn't quite play as well when he's in these advanced positions. He's a lot more influential in the midfield three, and without having a winger out on that right wing, it means that Liverpool play very compact. Their fullbacks are forced forward and they're left a lot more open defensively. So I think having Lallana back in that midfield should benefit Liverpool a lot more. But I don't think Sturridge is the best out on the right wing, but with Sadio Mane missing and no wingers in the squad who are of the quality that we'd want in a game like this, I think it's really the best of a bad lot having Daniel Sturridge out on that wing. I don't think it makes sense to move Firmino out the centre forward position because obviously he played very well there against Swansea. He's played his best football there this season, and it's good to have him next to Coutinho for that partnership. I think we probably will play the 4-3-3 still, so obviously Firmino might drop out to the right and Sturridge will come into the centre. The same might happen between Firmino and Coutinho, so it's quite a fluid front three, but generally it will probably be Sturridge on the right, Firmino through the centre and Coutinho out on the left. I think Liverpool could potentially benefit from returning to the 4-2-3-1 formation that worked so well for them at some points last season, notably in the game against Villarreal where Sturridge started up front. I don't necessarily think they will because this isn't the kind of game where Klopp will be looking to tamper with his tactics too much, certainly not from the start. But I would quite like to see Sturridge playing up front with Firmino behind him and then Coutinho and Lallana either side of him. Maybe not from the start, but at some point in the game it would be good to see if the 4-3-3 isn't quite working with the players that we've got. So, while it is going to be a tough game and it will be incredibly difficult for Liverpool to overturn that 1-0 deficit with the added problem that if the Southampton do get an away goal then we may have to score 3 to progress, I still think that Liverpool are in with a very good chance of getting through to the League Cup final. So, here are my 3 reasons why we will beat Southampton and we will win the tie. First of all, I mentioned him earlier, the Van Dijk injury is hugely important for Liverpool because it should open up a lot more space, because not only were Liverpool defensively poor against Southampton in the first leg, attacking wise they were also almost completely devoid of ideas, and I think a lot of that came down to the fact that Southampton did put in a very good defensive display and neutralise a lot of Liverpool's attacking threats. without Van Dijk and also, as I said earlier, without Jose Fonte, they do look like they could be in a bit of trouble, because I know Yoshida's an okay defender. He had a pretty good game against us in the first leg, but I'm not entirely sure who would partner him in that defence, and it does present a big choice for the Southampton manager, and whoever does partner him, it is going to be a makeshift centre-back pairing, and Liverpool should look to exploit that in the game and hopefully create a lot more chances than they did in the first leg. My second reason is another player I mentioned earlier, Joel Matip, because Liverpool were incredibly poor defensively in that first leg, and if it wasn't for a brilliant performance from Loris Karius, who pulled off some stunning saves from players like Nathan Redmond, Liverpool could be pretty much out of the tie already going into this game, and the game at Anfield could almost be a formality. So hopefully Matip prevents it from becoming that towards the end of the game. I think we'll probably be a lot more defensively solid. Southampton will probably look to sit back a bit more, because they will have wanted to do all their attacking in the leg at St Mary's and then defend at Anfield. So I can't see them threatening as much as they did in the first leg anyway, but with the chances that they do get, probably on the counter-attack with pacey players like Nathan Redmond in the lineup, I think having Matip back in that defensive pairing with Dejan Lovren should mean that Liverpool aren't going to concede anywhere near the amount of chances or the level of high-quality chances that they did in that game against Southampton at St Mary's. And finally, I think the decisive factor in this game could be the fact that it's played at Anfield, because if the Anfield crowd does get behind the players, then they just play so much better. It was shown last season in the Europa League in the games against United, Dortmund and Villarreal, where the fans were all getting massively behind the team, enjoying the game and spurring them on to wins. And Anfield has been a little bit flat at times this season. I know we can't expect it to be hugely up for games like the ones against Plymouth. It wasn't really a surprise that the Plymouth fans were making almost as much noise as the Liverpool fans were during that game. But I think games like this are the ones where they really need the crowd to get behind them and push them onto Wembley, because if the crowd hadn't been as good as it was for the Villarreal game, I'm not sure Liverpool would have overturned that 1-0 deficit. But with the way the crowd behaved and the way that they got the team up for the game and got Liverpool playing, it almost looked like it was inevitable that we were going to make it through to the final. So hopefully we have a similar case against Southampton on Wednesday night. So that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new around here, and I'll be back seeing you on Thursday for the post-match reaction video to the game against Southampton. Until then, bye for now.